All right, let's be real. March 2025 is stacked with new movies, which is great, except for one tiny problem. Who has time to watch all of them? I mean, unless your full-time job is professional couch sitter, you are probably not catching every single release. But don't worry, I did the hard work for you. AKA, I scrolled through a list and judged everything based on the poster and who's in it. If you love movies or just need something to put on while you scroll through your phone, this is the list for you. All right, let's kick this off. Number 13 on our list is Number 13, The Woman in the Yard, March 28, 2025. All right, this one sounds like every homeowner's worst nightmare. You move into a new place, start settling in, and then boom, there is a mysterious woman just standing in your yard every night. No note, no explanation, just straight up staring. At first, the main character thinks it's just a weird neighbor thing, but spoiler alert, it is not. The more she digs into this mystery, the more she realizes she probably should have just moved into a nice, overpriced studio apartment in. If you are into slow burn psychological thrillers with a creepy, unsettling vibe, this might be your thing. It is giving the Babadook and it follows energy, which means expect weird shadows, ominous music, and at least one scene where someone whispers, "Did you hear that?" Number 12, A Working Man, March 28, 2025. Jason Statham plays Novocaine, a former Black Ops operative who decided, you know what, enough of the violence, I am going to be a normal guy now. So he gets a construction job, focuses on raising his daughter, and tries to live a quiet life. But of course, because movies won't let action heroes retire in peace, his boss's teenage daughter, Jenny, goes missing. Instead of calling the authorities like a normal person, Levon goes full particular set of skills mode and starts breaking bones until he gets answers. This movie is basically Jason Statham doing what Jason Statham does best, taking down bad guys while looking mildly annoyed that he has to do this again. Expect high-speed chases, intense fight sequences, and at least one scene where Statham delivers a menacing threat before punching someone through a wall. If you are a fan of Taken or John Wick, this is probably right up your alley. If you are looking for a feel-good family drama, this ain't it. Number 11, The Chosen, Last Supper, Part 1, March 27, 2025. Alright, so this one is a pretty big deal for fans of the Chosen series. If you have been following along, you already know what this is about. If not, let me sum it up. It is an intense, well-acted, and emotional look at the life of Jesus, but without the cheesy Hollywood gloss. This particular installment focuses on the Last Supper, meaning it is going to be filled with dramatic speeches, emotional moments, and at least one scene where a character looks off into the distance meaningfully. Whether you are religious or just appreciate well-done historical dramas, this is one of those movies that will hit you right in the soul. Number 10, The Alto Knights, March 21st, 2025. Okay, this one is for the mob movie lovers. If you liked The Godfather, Goodfellas, or really any movie where a guy in a suit dramatically takes a puff of a cigar before saying something threatening, you are going to love The Alto Knights. The story follows a rising gangster trying to navigate the fine line between loyalty and survival in the world of organized crime. Basically a classic mob flick, but with a fresh take and probably at least one scene where someone flips a table. This one is packed with A-list actors, meaning the performances are going to be top-notch. Expect gritty dialogue, intense confrontation, and a lot of scenes where people stand in dark alleyways discussing business. Number 9, Snow White, March 21st, 2025. All right, here we go again, another live-action Disney remake. Because apparently, animated classics aren't enough anymore. We need the exact same movie, just with real people and slightly less magic. This time, it is Snow White, starring Rachel Zegler as Snow White and Gal Gadot as the evil queen. Now, the original Snow White came out in 1937, so yeah, I get it, it is due for an update. But let's be real, if this movie does not have at least one questionable CGI animal sidekick, is it even a real Disney remake? The studio is promising a modern reimagining of the story, meaning Snow White will likely be a little more independent and a little less, I just met this guy in the woods and now I am in love forever. Whether that makes it better or just different remains to be seen. Either way, expect huge musical numbers, expensive costumes, and people online arguing about it for months. Number 8, Magazine Dreams, March 20, 2025. All right, buckle up because this one is not a lighthearted watch. Magazine Dreams stars Jonathan Majors as an aspiring bodybuilder who becomes so obsessed with his goals that he basically starts losing his mind. Imagine Joker, but instead of clown makeup, it is protein shakes, gym mirrors, and a guy staring at himself while muttering, "No days off." The film dives deep into society's obsession with perfection and the dark side of ambition. It originally premiered at Sundance, and critics were raving about Major's performance. Basically, it is going to be brilliant, intense, and slightly disturbing. You know, the perfect thing to watch right before bed. Number 7. Bob Trevino Likes It, March 21st, 2025. All right, time for a complete 180 from our last movie. Bob Trevino Likes It is a feel-good indie drama about a young woman dealing with family trauma who finds an unexpected connection with a stranger over social media. Yes, I know, that sounds a little suspicious, but I promise this is not some creepy thriller where the guy turns out to be a serial killer. It is actually a heartfelt, emotional story about how human connection can come from the most unexpected places. If you are into movies that make you cry but in a good way, this one is probably for you. It is the kind of movie where you finish it and just sit there for a second like, wow, maybe I should text my mom more. Number 6. The Day the Earth Blew Up, a Looney Tunes movie, March 14th, 2025. And now for something completely different, we have Bugs Bunny in space. Yes, you heard that right. The Day the Earth Blew Up is a Looney Tunes animated sci-fi movie where Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck accidentally get caught up in an alien invasion. I don't know who greenlit this, but honestly, they deserve a raise. If you're expecting some deep, complex storyline, you are in the wrong place. But if you want non-stop slapstick, ridiculous cartoon physics, and Daffy Duck screaming at full volume, then congratulations. This is your movie. With the success of animated films like Spider-Man, Into the Spider-Verse, and the Super Mario Bros. Movie, it makes sense that studios are giving Looney Tunes the big screen treatment again. If it works, great. If not, well, at least we will always have Space Jam. Number 5. Novocaine, March 14th, 2025. Alright, so Novocaine stars Jack Quaid as Nathan Kane, a mild-mannered bank executive with a rare condition called congenital insensitivity to pain, meaning he can't feel a thing. Sounds cool until you realize that pain is what stops us from, dying. When the girl of his dreams, played by Amber Midthunder, gets kidnapped during a bank robbery, Nate decides it's time to turn his medical oddity into a superpower. Picture this, a guy who can't feel pain taking on a bunch of thugs. It's like Die Hard meets The Office. Directed by Dan Burke and Robert Olson, this action comedy promises a mix of intense fight scenes and dark humor. Expect Nate to endure injuries that would sideline a superhero, all while delivering quips that would make Deadpool proud. If you're into movies where the underdog turns the tables, using a condition that would make most of us curl up in a ball, Novocaine should be on your watch list. Plus, it's a great reminder that your weird quirks might just save the day. 4. Black Bag, March 14th, 2025. Ah yes, Black Bag, because nothing screams this is a spy movie like a vague, mysterious title. This one is a high-stakes action thriller about a secret agent who gets caught in a web of espionage, betrayal, and, let's be honest, probably at least one scene where they dramatically walk away from an explosion without looking back. It has got all the spy movie essentials, shadowy government conspiracies, high-tech gadgets, and at least one moment where the main character says something cool before taking down a bad guy. Basically, if you have ever thought, I wish James Bond was slightly more paranoid, this might be your movie. The cast is solid, the action looks intense, and if it does well, expect them to turn it into a franchise with increasingly ridiculous sequel names like Black Bag, Double Zipped. Number 3. Rule Breakers, March 7th, 2025. Alright, so Rule Breakers is the kind of movie that makes you realize your biggest accomplishment this week was finally taking out the trash. Based on the true story of Afghanistan's first all-girls robotics team, this film follows a group of young women who decide that societal norms are, well, overrated. Led by a visionary woman, think of her as the Elon Musk of Kabul, they take on the challenge of building robots in a place where educating girls is practically considered witchcraft. Their innovation doesn't just get a gold star, it draws global attention. But, of course, success comes with a side of haters. As threats loom larger than your student loan debt, their courage and unity ignite a movement that could forever transform their world, or at least get them a decent Wi-Fi connection. Directed by Bill Gutentag, a guy with not one but 2 Oscars, and starring Ali Faisal and Nicole Boucheri, this film promises to be as inspiring as those motivational posters in your office, but, actually effective. If you're into stories about breaking barriers and making your own rules, mark your calendar for March 7th, 2025, and maybe, just maybe, consider doing something productive afterward. Number 2. Night of the Zooacoplypse, March 7th, 2025. Alright, so Night of the Zooacoplypse is what happens when you mix Madagascar with The Walking Dead and sprinkle a little Clive Barker on top. Yes, the guy who gave us Pinhead is now bringing us an animated film about zombie zoo animals, because, Why not? The story kicks off when a meteor, because it's always a meteor, crashes into the Culpeper Zoo, unleashing a virus that turns the cute and cuddly residents into slobbering, mutant zombies. Our heroes? Gracie, a young wolf voiced by Gabby Cosmitis, and Dan, a gruff mountain lion brought to life by David Harbour. Together, they lead a ragtag group of survivors to find a cure and stop the head zombie, ominously named Bunny Zero, directed by Rodrigo Perez Castro and Ricardo Curtis. This film promises to be a wild ride for the 8 to 12-year-old crowd who are just dipping their toes into horror. Think of it as a gateway horror movie. Scary enough to thrill, but not so terrifying that they'll end up in your bed for the next month. So if you're looking for a family movie night that combines laughs, thrills, and the undeniable appeal of zombie lemurs, mark your calendars for March 7th, 2025. Just maybe avoid the petting zoo for a while afterward. Number 1. Mickey 17, March 7th, 2025. And here we are, the most anticipated movie of March 2025. Mickey 17 is a massive sci-fi thriller starring Robert Pattinson and directed by Bong Joon-ho. You know, the guy behind Parasite? Yeah, so expectations are through the roof on this one. The story follows a disposable human clone who is sent on a dangerous mission to colonize another planet. Now, when I say disposable, I mean this guy literally gets killed over and over, and they just print out a new version of him. So yeah, fun times. This is one of those mind-bending, existential, crisis-inducing movies that will leave people arguing about its meaning for months. Is it a deep, philosophical look at the nature of identity? Is it just Robert Pattinson getting repeatedly thrown into outer space? The answer is probably yes to both. If you love big, ambitious sci-fi with a little bit of existential dread, this is a must-watch. If you don't, well, you can always go back and check out Night of the Zooacoplypse. All right, there you have it, 13 movies coming out in March 2025 that are actually worth your time. We covered sci-fi clones, mob bosses, creepy women standing in yards, and mutant zoo animals losing their minds. So yeah, something for everyone. Now the real question is, which of these are you actually going to watch? Let me know in the comments what you are most excited for. Or if you are one of those people who just watches the same 3 comfort movies over and over, that is fine too. No judgment. And before you go, hit that like button and subscribe, or else the mysterious woman from The Woman in the Yard is going to show up outside your window. Your call. All right, that is it for now. Go forth and watch responsibly.